When so that I'm not lost. I got the video.
Well, I'm going first.
So it's sax, trumpet, sax, trumpet, trumpet.
Take a while.
Is this yours?
Yeah.
Do you want me to hold it?
No, I just give it right there. Thanks. Better to have the whole video in the same spot.
One, two, three.
Thank you very much. This is the Xavier Jazz Ensemble, and we're really, really pleased to be here at Cafe Vivace. We want to thank everybody at Cafe Vivace and Brent for having us over. We're going to make a little bit of a change here. We're going to put a chair out, and our pianist April, who's going to play the most instruments of anybody on stage tonight, is going to grab her guitar. That first song was a song entitled The Work Song by Cannibal or Nat Adderley, I forget which one. One of the Adderley brothers. Nat, thank you. This next song is going to be a tune by, who knows Leve? One day, is it two? This is a vocal tune that we have made into a 3-vocalist tune. And I hope you guys enjoy it while I set this chair and try and hold the microphone.
Part one.
That was pretty fun, right? Okay, now we're going to sing a beautiful ballad. I'm going to keep Miss Maddie Lowe up here, but we're also going to bring up another special person. This man is a friend of mine from 21 years ago, I believe. We went to Northern Illinois University up in Chicago together, and I was a first-year grad student, and he was a senior. And the first time I actually heard you play, it was auditions for jazz band. And as a grad student, I get to sit in and pretend like I'm important or whatever. And they're like, oh, go pick who's in the jazz band. So I was sitting there, and Greg comes in, and our professor put on one of those Jane Weaver song play-alongs, really fast song called Cherokee. And it was one that changes keys every time it goes around with the chorus. And I think he put it on to throw people off. And it came, the key change came, and Greg just keeps on going. Another key change comes, Greg keeps on going. I'm like, okay, well, this he's first chair is what I would say. So, but since then, I had a couple of opportunities to play with him in school, and we haven't really seen each other, I think, for many years. And I was very pleased to be able to bring him in and hang out with us today. So please give it up for Greg Ward.
But a fool can have his
Daddy Lover, everyone. It's a beautiful song. Great to say a few words about Bewitched and then about our next song. How are we doing tonight? Everybody feeling good? Yeah. All right, good, good. We give it up for these young people. Yeah. Always a pleasure to get to come into another community and interact with people who share the same love for music as I do. And just very thankful for this opportunity anytime that it happens. So I really appreciate you all, and I really appreciate Ralph for having me. This is a real privilege. I'll just say a couple things about these songs. That last one, Bewitched, back when I was in school, my freshman year, there was a grad student named Dyron Holloway, and he would impress upon me the importance of learning the lyrics to songs. And as an instrumentalist, I always heard music and didn't even consider the lyrics. Even anything on the radio just never really made any sense to me. So when, he was 10 years older than me. I was 17 at the time, he was 27, so kind of like a big brother to me. So I listened to him, and he gave me a record. I'm sure you all know about the band, the Rolling Stones. Right? You've all heard the Rolling Stones. So the background, or the backup singers for the Rolling Stones are some really heavy hitters, right? The great Lisa Fischer. Have you heard of Lisa Fischer? Yeah, she's one of the background singers for years. But also, one other singer was Bernard Fowler. And Bernard Fowler, really great vocalist. So Charlie Watts produced a record for Bernard Fowler called Introducing Bernard Fowler with like strings and jazz band. And one of the tunes that they did was Bewitched, Bothered, and Bewildered. And I really paid attention to all of the tunes on that record and learned to sing all these tunes, and it really helped me connect with the music. And so, it's a beautiful tune, Richard Rodgers and Lorenz Hart, so love that stuff. The next piece we're going to play for you is by one of our greatest composers in America, period, the great Wayne Shorter. And give it up for Wayne Shorter. Yeah. I went to see Wayne Shorter live probably maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, and it was always an incredible experience. And when he came through Chicago, I had a lot of friends in the Chicago Symphony, and they asked me if I wanted to go backstage and meet Wayne. I was like, well, yes, of course, I'd love to. Sometimes they did meet and greets, but this night it was just me and Wayne in a room, just alone. So I was just like, well, Wayne Shorter's sitting right across from me, and it's like, what are you working on? And Wayne probably had to be in his 70s then, and he told me that, well, I'm working on this music for a full orchestra and my quartet, and we're going to go on tour all summer. And also with the great soprano, Renee Fleming. So I was just like, oh my gosh, So the fact that he was in his 70s
he's still on the cutting edge. It's a big inspiration to me. So that's something I want to always strive to be, is, you know, at the top of my game, no matter what age I am. So anyway, just a little anecdote for about Wayne Shorter. We're going to play one of his classics. This is Footprints.
making sure, not the version that you guys are probably used to. That's actually a version from Terrence Blanchard's album, Bounce, from about 2000, something like that. I'm kind of old, so it all kind of runs together. I feel old. We're going to bring out our wonderful kazoo player, Sydney Smith, one of our vocalists, to sing a song. Actually, you are tied for a vocalist because you played the shaker. So, congas, vocals, and shakers, so count it. This tune is titled It Could Happen to You. Thanks everybody on vocals. Vocals, conga, and shaker, a deadly combination. An instrument trio that nobody has ever played before. It's amazing. Thank you, Sydney. And she was the lead vocalist in the Paramore concert that Xavier did a couple of months ago, it all runs today. It was fantastic. A month ago today. This is the anniversary, the month anniversary of the album project, so fantastic. Okay, we've got two more tunes for you. We're going to play a song by Roy Hargrove. Did we get a chance to play with Roy? Do you want to talk a little bit about it?
Yeah, I'll tell you a funny story.
So, Roy was kind of like a hero for many, but people my age. I'm 42, and coming up, he had such great records and great bands, and he was one of the first people that I ever got to see at the Jazz Showcase, a really great club in Chicago. I don't know if you've ever been there, but I remember driving to Chicago. Used to have the Thanksgiving residency and I lived in Peoria, Illinois when I was growing up, and so like 2.5 hours. Hey, Peoria people? Hey, all right, P-Town. And so driving up to Chicago to sit front row. I was right in front to see Roy Hargrove. So that was my introduction to him and his, just incredible ability on the trumpet and as a composer. He had such great bands. And I grew up with another really awesome trumpet player named Maurice Brown. And Maurice was rather, he'd instigate things. So I remember being at that concert and he would say, we had our horns and we would go to the backstage where they had their little closet that they kept the musicians in at the club at that time. And he's like, let's get our horns out and play. And then he would like dare me. I'm like, I'm not going to get my horn out and just play outside of their dressing room. So anyway, fast forward, when I'm in college, I get a phone call from Maurice, say, hey, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, nothing, I'm just in Chicago, and he's like, go play with Roy Hargrove tonight. I was like, sure, yeah, I'll just go and play with Roy Hargrove tonight, So he's like, I already set it up. I was like, okay. So I went over to the jazz showcase, and my name was on the door, so I got in free. And so they've already started, right? And so I missed my opportunity to talk to Roy. And so they're playing this real up-tempo song, and then Roy takes the first solo, then he comes off stage and he's sitting on the side. So I'm like, this is my chance. And I walk up to Roy and I'm like, hi, Mr. Hargrove, my name is Greg Ward. He's like, the horn player, right? I was like, oh, Maurice wasn't lying, okay. And I was just wondering if I could sit in tonight. And he's like, you want to play on this tonight? And I was like, okay. So I just get my horn out and I go up and play on this super fast, C minor blues. I still remember, just trying to hang on, And Dwayne Burno, who's the bass player, he was in a bad mood, and I just heard him behind me yelling at me, stop, get off the stage, get off, But that was something I used to mess with Dwayne about. Like, I was like, man, you treated me really bad that first time I sat in with Roy. But anyway, it was a treat, and I got to be introduced to him on the stage, and I would sit in with him whenever he would come through town. So anyway, that was my connection with the great Roy Hargrove. So here we go, Strong Bird singing.
Thank you.